Okay, this is the free response question number 2 from the Taylor series questions to go over. Let's see. Okay, so we start with the Taylor series for the function f of x centered around x equals -1 is given by this. Don't get freaked out about this notation. I see an a sub n there and it feels confusing, but look, they define a sub n over here. Why they don't put it all together from the start, I don't know. I don't know why they are making you put it together, but you are going to see that sometimes. So just be aware that you don't need to be nervous about seeing that a sub n. A sub n is right over here. Okay, sorry. Determine the interval of convergence of the Taylor series. So when we see that, we want to use the ratio test. Now, I'm talking about this, but didn't the video went over this, right? It just didn't go over B and D. So sorry that you're hearing me pause on it. Yeah, I think we went over the first question. So I think the video went over the first question. So I don't think I need to go over A. I'm just double checking myself. Yeah, so he skipped part B in the video. So let's go down to part B. So does the function f of x have a relative min, max, or neither at x equals 1? So first let's remind ourselves of what f of x is. F of x was found in part A, and it is just this series. So I'm going to be doing part B, but I'm going to write my work up here, because I have more space. So f of x is this function that is, or is this series that is a sub n, so -1 to the n over n times 3 to the n minus 1 times x plus 1 to the n. This is the series I'm referring to. And they want to know, does this function have a min, a max, or neither at x equals -1? So the first thing I did was I got myself a few terms of this series. I don't like this pen. It's just too thick. I'm trying to see if I can make this whatever. Okay, so I got myself the first few terms of this series. So I started with, they have n equals 1 to infinity. So I started by plugging in 1 for n, and then 2, and then 3, and so on. And I ended up with -1 times x plus 1 plus 1 over 6 times x plus 1 to the second minus 1 over 27 times x plus 1 to the third. So I ended up with, and then plus ... So here's my series for f of x. We want to know now, does f of x have a min, a max, or neither at x equals 1? Well, if they're asking me about mins and maxes, I need to find the derivative of f. So I can take the derivative of f by taking the derivative of each term in this series one at a time. So the derivative of this term is -1, plus the derivative of this term is going to be 1/3 times x plus 1, minus the derivative of this will be 1/9 times x plus 1 squared, and so on. So what's happening when x is -1? We want to know, do I have a min or a max or neither at x is -1? Well, first let's just see what's happening to the derivative at x equals -1. So if I plug -1 into the derivative, this is going to become 0, this is going to become 0, I'm going to have -1. Well, this problem becomes as simple as, because the derivative of the function at -1 is not 0, I can't have a min or a max. I'm going to have neither. That's it. That's all you had to do. I didn't have to make a number line and check or anything. I just wanted to see what was happening to the derivative at -1. And when I found out that the derivative is not 0, there was nothing more to do. All right, part C, they do in their video. Oops, sorry. So I didn't need to go over part C because they go over it now. I went over this one in class, so hopefully that made sense. And then part D, we also went over that one in class. So if you need more explanation, let me know. But for now, I'm going to stop from there. And just make sure you're prepared for class so so that you're ready to get your questions answered so that whatever we go over in class, we don't have to repeat.